great businessman from mostly New York and Florida, great businessman, and more importantly, just a fantastic person. So we're in the group, and everybody we got into the carts and we moved along pretty good. I was with an agent, and the agent did a fantastic job. There was no question that we were off that course. I would have loved to have sank that last putt, but we decided, well, let's get out of here. And what the gunfire was actually, interestingly, was a Secret Service agent had seen a barrel of a AK-47, which is a very powerful gun, rifle, and he started shooting at the barrel, started shooting. It was in the bushes.
Wow.
Could only see the barrel. How good is that, right? But could only see the barrel. Based on that, he started shooting and ran toward the target and was shooting a lot of, I mean, those were the shots we heard. The other one never got a shot off. And he ran across the street and grabbed his car, hopped into his truck or car. And amazingly, a civilian in that area saw something and it looked very suspicious. And in the car, drove their car to the back of his truck of some kind and took pictures of the license plate, gave them to the sheriff's office. Sheriff Bradshaw is fantastic, very great sheriff for a long time. And within a fairly short period of time, they tracked him down on the highway. It was a pretty high-speed chase. And they ended up getting him. They got him. Because you wouldn't want to have somebody like that out there.
No.
You know, he dropped his gun, the AK-47. He left his gun. He left cameras behind, left a lot of things behind. So the agent did a fantastic job. The civilian did a phenomenal job. A woman. I mean, who would think you could take 1,000 times like that? How many people would have the brain power to follow him and take pictures of the back of his truck so that they end up getting, and the key was the license. So they got the license, and after they had the license, you know, there's all sorts of technology where they can literally pinpoint where this truck is. I never knew something like that existed. And they pinpointed him on the highway. They got him with a high-speed chase. So they got him. It was amazing. So Secret Service did a great job. And I think I can say honestly, the sheriff's office, law enforcement, everybody really did a great job.
Incredible.
Very happy about that.
That's incredible to hear.
Thank you.
And backup question to that second fold is, you know, this was the second attempt in your life in under 2 months. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on. A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they talk about threat to democracy and all of this, and it seems that both of these people were radical lefts. The first one, they should learn more about. They have apps that they haven't opened yet, which is pretty strange. And the father went out and got the biggest lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania, which is pretty strange, about the father of the shooter we're talking about in Butler, the first one. And that's pretty strange. There are a couple of pretty strange things going on there. I can say this, the Secret Service was very brave in the sense that bullets were flying, and when I went down, I purposely went down, I saw what was happening, and people are probably screaming. I'm not sure if I recognized that, but I went down, and Secret Service, they were right there with bullets flying right at them, and they weren't hit, but 3 other people were, Corey, a firefighter, and 2 other gentlemen who they thought died. And actually the doctors in Butler were unbelievable. They saved their lives. And we've actually raised a lot of money for the families, and the family of Corey and the 2 gentlemen. And they both lived. They thought they were dead. The first thing I asked when I came up, I said, how many people are dead? Because we had a massive crowd. And with all those bullets flying, so 3 got hit. But there was a great display of bravery. I mean, it was incredible. Normally, the crowd experts will tell you when they hear bullets, and we heard a lot of bullets going off.
Right.
A crowd this was a massive crowd. You couldn't even see the end of it in a big field. And that the crowd always runs. They call it a stampede, like cattle. I mean, they stampede, and a lot of people get killed when they stampede. But they hear bullets, but nobody ran.
They all stayed.
You know, tens of thousands of people. Nobody ran. In fact, you can see it in the small group behind me. There was a group of probably a couple of hundred people behind me. And Nobody ran. In fact, they're standing up. Some of them are standing up looking for the shooter. The other one has to get credit to local law enforcement. It was a gentleman that shimmied up to the roof, looked, saw the man with a gun, and probably made him go faster than he would normally go. And so he didn't exactly hit the target the way he wanted. There's something going on. I mean, perhaps it's God wanting me to be president to save this country. Nobody knows, but when I made the right turn, it's very unusual because the people weren't on the right. The people were standing out in front of me. When I turned my head at an exact 90-degree angle, the bullet came zooming by and clipped my ear. And the reason so much blood, they told me at the hospital, I said, why so much? The ear is the bloodiest part of the body because of cartilage. He was giving me a whole description. I said, you don't have to tell me, but it was a mess. But amazing bravery shown, amazing talent, like the doctor saving the two men that were hit. They were hit really badly. I won't tell you exactly what happened. They were hit badly. And they both lived. Corey didn't make it. Corey was in bad shape. We had a person from the National Guard about 10 seats over from Corey run to his aid, and he was hit in the head, with all of that, was giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because he was still alive.
Wow.
And people couldn't believe it. They thought it was such an incredible act. Who would do it? It would, just an amazing thing. And we're going to take care of him too, because just the fact that he could do it, and some other people. So it was amazing bravery, and there was a mistake made, a bad mistake. That one building was unmanned on top.
Very.
And that was a mistake. There's nothing you can say about it. But that was some crazy day. And then yesterday you had another one with a different result. Actually, much better result, because we lost Corey, and two gentlemen were very badly hurt, but they're in pretty good shape now.
Right.
A lot of talent. Those local doctors up there had tremendous talent.
Love to hear that. Well, this is more of a personal question.
Okay.
Just turned 30 last week. We were just chit-chatting outside the room here. Young entrepreneur, son, aspiring father one day. Mm-hmm. With all of your success, you have a wonderful family. A couple of your sons are actually looking at us right now. You have a wonderful business for yourself, a wonderful life for yourself. You could be on the golf course without worrying about gunmen coming at you. But after multiple attempts at your life, you're still here. You've already been president of the United States of America once. You're about to be president of the United States of America again.
I hope so.
We hope so. Why do you do this? What motivates you?
So we have a country that's in trouble, a country that I love. I love the people of this country, people like Corey, who were just this massive Trump fan, and he got hit. But people like that, they're in love with the country, and they hate seeing what's happened to the country when you have 21 million people pouring in from all countries all over the world, from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums. Insane asylums, and they are different. Even prisons and jails, they are different. One's a little more severe than the next. They're coming in as terrorists, and they're coming into our country at levels that nobody's ever seen, and they're taking over our towns, and they're taking over small cities and big cities. I mean, look at New York, look at Chicago, look at LA. Tens of thousands of these people, and they're rough people in many cases. I mean, they are rough, tough people. Venezuela gangs, if you look at Aurora in Colorado, you have a governor that doesn't know what he's doing. He's petrified to be there. He doesn't know what to say. I mean, they're literally taking over real estate. They're becoming real estate developers in a much different way, right? They're taking over buildings. Everyone's afraid of them. And they have a big AK, talking about AK-47s. That's what they have. They carry massive guns. You say, where would they get this kind of power? And they're vicious people. They're gang members from Venezuela, largely, and known as being one of the roughest gangs anywhere in the world. You have MS-13, which is a bad gang, and you have these guys. And we're going to clean them out. We're going to get them out. But the bottom line, just to answer it quickly, I love the country. We're going to make America great again, and we'll be able to do it. We did it once, and we'll do it again, and much easier this time. The border is in much worse shape than it's ever been. This is the worst border there's ever been in any country. They have not done the job that they have to do. I mean, you have Kamala, she was the border czar. I call her the comrade because she's a Marxist. She wants to tax everybody out of business. She wants to raise taxes to 70, 80%. She wants an unrealized capital gain tax, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Nobody's ever even heard of such a thing. And they'll put everybody out of business. We'll end up in a depression if she gets in. And very simply, though, we're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. And I love doing it.
Being from Canada, I can probably relate to what that means.
Yeah. We've got some problems.
A crypto entrepreneur based in Montreal here, so it's it's not always the best feeling as someone who's trying to build something out of nothing here. Speaking of which, I'm wondering now. I know this is quite different, right? But I know many people in crypto feel this way as we're trying to change the financial system. Quite literally, we're trying to change things and make a difference, but it always feels like there's some sort of a force against us. In your case, do you feel similarly that there's a force out there to get you?
Well, you have a radical left force, and we have forces, I say that we have a lot of evil in the world. The world is a nasty place, and you can see that with some of the things that have happened. We've been treated, I think, very unfairly, but I've done so well. It's an amazing country in some ways, but we have evil forces. You have the outside forces with the enemies, and you call them Russia, China, various places. I don't know that they're enemies. I think we'll get along great with China. I think we'll get along great with Russia. I want to get Russia to settle up with Ukraine and stop this. Millions of people being killed, far greater than the number you read about. But I want to get that done before I even take office. I want to get that done as president-elect because it has to be solved. Too many people dying. Too many cities are just in rubble right now. You look at the culture is just being destroyed. Mm-hmm. We got to get that done, and I'll get it done. There wouldn't have been an October 7th. There wouldn't have been Russia attacking Ukraine. There wouldn't be inflation. All this inflation, which has hurt people so badly. You wouldn't have had that horrible type of withdrawal. We were getting out of Afghanistan, but with dignity and strength. That was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And frankly, Russia would have never gone into Ukraine if it weren't for that. They looked at that and they said, this country is no longer run by Trump. This country is run by stupid people. And we have a great military. I took out ISIS in 4 weeks. And everyone said it was going to take 4 or 5 years. I took them out in 4. Our military is great, but you have to have the right leadership running it. So the bottom line is that it can be nasty. But it's only going to get worse. If I don't win, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get really bad. We'll end up being Venezuela on steroids. We'll end up in 1929 type depressions. And we have to make sure that this person doesn't get in. This is far worse than Biden. That was if you think of it, that was an overthrow of a president. He won. He had 14 million votes. He had no votes. Crazy Nancy Pelosi walked in and some of the others, and they say, we want you out. He said, I'm not going to get out. I want to run. I was leading him by a lot after the debate, but still he had the right to run. And they literally, it was a coup in the truest sense. This was the first coup of an American president. And I think it's, look, I don't say fair or not fair. He was very nice today. He called up to make sure I was okay, to make sure that, do I have any suggestions or anything? Mm-hmm. We do need more people on my detail because we have 50, 60,000 people showing up to events, and right. Other people don't have that. But he couldn't have been nicer. But I thought he was treated really unfairly. He went through a primary system, he won, and then they threw him overboard. And she got no votes. She got no votes. But she'd be very bad for the country. We have to save our country. We can't play games, and we can't have a Marxist, communist president because that's not what it's all about. So we're going to do it, and we're going to make our country greater than ever before, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to love your crypto. And as long as you have crypto, you're happy. So I know Absolutely. What makes you happy. Nothing else but crypto.
Yeah. I mean, when the Twitter Spaces was officially announced and that you put the tweet out, a lot of people were like, well, who's this Farohk guy? And obviously, a lot of people started digging into this Farohk guy, and the main reply that was that I'm just this crypto bro. But you know what, Mr. President, I am a proud crypto bro. And it seems like you're starting to become one of us, if not already. I know for a fact that your children are quite involved in the space. I mean, we have Baron, Don Jr., and Eric on the Twitter Spaces right now. Eric and Don Jr. here, who will be joining us a little later on this programming. But Getting to crypto now, because I already see the people on Twitter Spaces really eager to hear you talk about this. At the recent Bitcoin conference, you mentioned that, and I quote, "America should be the crypto capital of the world."
Yeah.
That was a big statement, and I believe the correct one. So why is it not right now?
Well, I think it will be right now. Right now, you have a very hostile SEC. I guess you'd have to say, I don't know, when you say administration, you call it Biden, or